married in August. She invited me and my husband to the wedding already in October when she got engaged, and I was asked to be her maid of honor. She didn't have the dates immediately as she wasn't sure how it will be with COVID, but now she has the dates and she told me she thinks it would be better if my husband didn't come. I asked her why, and she didn't want to tell me at first, but then she said it is because he is shorter than me, and it would look weird on pictures. He has around 165 centimeters, 5 feet 4.961 inches, while I have 166 centimeters, 5 feet 5.354 inches. I think the difference is not that big, and I offered I wouldn't wear heels, but she said I must wear them because I'm the maid of honor and bridesmaids will wear heels as well. I said that if my husband is not invited because of his height, I am not coming to her wedding. She said the day is about her, and not about me and my husband, and I should respect her wishes about her day. She said that she counts on me as the maid of honor, and I can't do this to her. I told her she is being shallow, and that it is either me and my husband or none of us. I talk about it with my husband, and he thinks I am not the a-hole and actually would think it would be bad of me to agree with my friend. However, he doesn't like her that much. She doesn't know that, so it couldn't play a role in it. So I'm not sure if his opinion is really objective. I asked my friend, and she said I am the a-hole because it is just one day, and it is about the bride, so I shouldn't make a drama out of it. So perhaps I'm the a-hole because I'm focusing on me being there with my husband and not at what the bride wants? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. You and your husband are 100% correct. What on earth did she think your response would be? I think both of us or neither of us is entirely fair. For someone who is about to get married, she seems to have an odd idea of what marriage entails. You can't have it both ways. It sounds like she is essentially saying my marriage is important, yours is not. Thank you so much. I really started to feel bad because of the other friends saying I should respect the bride, and it is her day. I wouldn't mind it if she just agreed with me not wearing heels, but this felt like too much to ask. I am also worried it would hurt my husband if I agree with her, and I didn't want to lie to him and pretend that the reason is something else. Not a a-hole. The bride is being very rude and shallow, and so is your other friend. Time to get new friends. Not a a-hole, and I would completely ditch this person as a friend. We have known each other for a very long time, so I don't want to end the friendship, but I think that she won't forgive me if I don't come to the wedding. Not a a-hole, and she's not a real friend. I would tell her you're not going, and unless she gives a real heartfelt apology, you're not going to be friends anymore. I don't think she will apologize. I know her for a very long time, so I don't want to lose her as a friend, but I think she will not forgive me if I didn't come to her wedding. Update. After all the support I got here, I'm making a move. I wrote her a text saying that I understand that wedding can be stressful, and she wants it to be perfect, but that it really hurts what she wanted from me. I wrote that I'm standing to what I said, and unless my husband is invited, I am not coming. I wrote I want to be there for her and help her as the maid of honor, but I can't do that if she will have superficial demands. So far, no reply. I'm giving her time till tomorrow, and then I will write her that we are not coming so I can close it. Next story. Am I the a-hole for disinviting all my friends from my wedding? I, 28 male, will be marrying my fiancé, 24 female, and we are also having a baby. Just to give a background, my fiancé Evelyn and I have been dating for 4 years, and honestly, it's been great. She's my rock, and I can't imagine my life without her. Evelyn is completely different from all the women I have dated in the past. They were tall and blondes, whereas my Evelyn is short, barely reaches my shoulder, and is a brunette. And to me, she looks like a fairy, which is also the first thought I had when I first saw her. And since then, fairy has become a nickname for me for her. My friends Dan, Jacob, and Ryan, all 28, always seemed to dislike Evelyn, especially Dan, saying she wasn't my type, but I always brushed it aside thinking they were just confused. But as they saw how serious I had gotten with her, given that my past relationships lasted less than a year, the insults and cheating accusations became frequent. And I even went 5 months without talking to them until they apologized. They were also always nice to her and didn't show any sign of hatred, so she never knew about this. Since COVID restrictions have lifted in my country, I invited all my friends to a restaurant to give them the news of our engagement and pregnancy. Evelyn and I arrived early and were sitting when our friends entered, so they didn't notice the bump she had. We all sat down and the conversation was going smoothly, but I did notice Dan getting too drunk. So my brother, who knows about the news, casually asked, "So what's the special occasion?" To which I smiled brightly and showed our rings to everyone and announcing our engagement and also about the baby. And the chaos unfolded. Dan suddenly threw his glass on the floor, screamed, "You freaking loose woman!" pointing at my Evelyn, which had us all taken aback. Jacob tried to hold him back, but he kept spouting profanities and saying, "You can't have his child. The freaking fairy's pregnant. And how freaking dare you?" until the restaurant kicked us out. I was so shocked I couldn't even process anything. So me and Evelyn just left while she cried the entire way home. I'm now learning that Dan had a thing for Evelyn ever since I introduced her. And he always hoped I would break up with her so he could have her, which is why he always bad-mouthed her while we were dating. But the most shocking thing which I learned was all of my friends, especially Jacob and Ryan, helped Dan or either knew about it and didn't tell me. So enraged, I disinvited everyone for my wedding, and it has been a month since this happened. My parents, my sisters and close relatives keep pressuring me to invite my friends, Dan excluded, to the wedding. Since the wedding is approaching, my parents called me an a-hole for not inviting any of my friends. And now even I'm reconsidering everything since all of my friends did apologize. But at the same time, they completely broke my trust and almost made me lose the woman I love. So am I the a-hole for disinviting all my friends from my wedding? Not the a-hole. Sorry to say, but they aren't your friends. Do not allow anyone at your wedding, or in your social life for that matter, who will harass and disparage your partner. Best wishes on your new baby and marriage. Not the a-hole. Dan's feelings are one thing, but Jacob and Ryan helped him to try to sabotage Opie's relationship. And for what? Did they think Opie would just be okay with Dan dating his ex? Don't date your friend's ex's bro code 101. Also, sounds like they fed Dan's delusions. Any sane person would have told Dan to move on long ago. These guys are toxic and shouldn't be in Opie's life. What made Dan think if she wasn't with Opie, she would be with him? That was mighty confident of him/them to assume. Or did he think because he was calling dibs she was going to fall into his arms? I don't know. I have questions. Did he/they know her before she was introduced to them by Opie? Were they ever involved? In any case, these don't seem much like friends to me. Weddings are for family and friends, and they don't really meet the criteria. Marriages need a supportive people who support the marriage. People who don't add cracks to its foundation in a myriad of ways if you're not careful. Not the a-hole. Obviously not the a-hole. And you need to tell your family exactly why they're not invited, so you can prevent any sort of sneaky secret invites. Do not let these ex-friends come to your wedding. Best of luck on your new life with your happy little family. Thanks. I'm trying to reason with my family, but they seemed adamant, and I have a feeling that they know more than they are letting on. Not the a-hole. Frankly, don't understand why your family cares. I'm trying to figure it out too. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for getting married before my sister who got engaged before me? My sister's boyfriend proposed about 2 years ago. At that time, they had only been dating for 1.5 years, so while everyone was happy for them, it was quite a shock. We asked if they were going down the traditional route and get married within a year, but they said that they were not and would maybe get married in 2 to 3 years. At the time of their engagement, my boyfriend and I had been together for 4 years and were not engaged. A couple of weeks back, my boyfriend proposed and I said yes. We announced it and also set a date for our wedding, which will be in a couple of months. My sister and I are very close, but she seemed pretty put off by our announcement for some reason. I asked her about it, and she confessed that she thought I was being inconsiderate by getting married before her, since she got engaged earlier. Personally, I feel like you can't expect other people not to get married just because you're engaged. It would be one thing if they got engaged and set a date, but they both said that they would probably wait for a couple of years to get married. I asked if they were planning something soon, and if that was why she was upset, but she said that was not the case. Since we are close and usually get along, I wonder if I really did something wrong based on her reaction. I can understand that they might have wanted to get married first, but it also seems weird to expect my boyfriend and I to just wait for who knows how long to get married. Now for the comments. Not today, Hal. Does she really expect no one to get married for 5 to 8 years while they make up their minds? So not today, Hal. That being said, you might try to be kind, in case her real problem is her boyfriend proposed with no plan to actually get married, and she wants to get married badly. If she really isn't ready to get married to, then she is very self-centered. Agree. Plus, by the sister's own logic, it was inconsiderate of her and her boyfriend to get engaged first, since Opie has been in a relationship longer. This is exactly what I was thinking. I wonder what Opie's sister would say if Opie told her this. When I first read the title, I thought the sister had already chosen a date, and the date was gonna be sometime soon, but delayed due to the bug or something. This just makes no sense. Opie gets engaged, but they aren't allowed to get married for 5 years because they have to wait on her sister who has no idea? Lol. Not today, Hal. You snooze, you lose. If she wanted to get married first, she should have done something about it. Not today, Hal. She's making it seem like you maliciously planned to get married before her, when obviously that's not the case. You said it yourself. Just because she's engaged doesn't mean other people can't get married as well. I don't think she's making it seem like they did so maliciously. She's suggesting that they were inconsiderate in doing so. Malice and negligence are different. The issue with her idea is that it only makes sense to think of planning your wedding before someone else is married as wrongdoing if you did it maliciously. I don't think you owe people any consideration in happening to plan a wedding before them, so you can't negligently plan a wedding first. Last story is titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my half-sister I don't want her mom to come to my wedding? Half-sister and I share the same bio dad. He died when I was 4, and before her mom knew she was pregnant. We didn't know each other growing up, and we only met about 2 years ago. After our dad died, my mom kept full custody of me. Half-sister's mom, who was married to our dad, wanted to split custody still. My mom said no. Half-sister's mom was pissed, and when she found out she was pregnant, never made contact again. My half-sister reached out 2.5 years ago. Told me the story, we had a DNA test done, and it confirmed we're half-sisters. The relationship has been difficult. She blames my mom for us not growing up together. She believes, even though her mom never told my mom she was pregnant, that if my mom had been willing to share me and let me grow up with 2 moms and 2 households, then none of this would have happened. I just view it as that's life sometimes, and while my mom could have allowed it, I'm really glad she didn't. It's not like I was old enough to remember her mom. I completely forgot about her, and her mom ended up remarrying, so it adds another layer of difficulty. But regardless, it is one thing that has always been between us. Her mom is now seeing our meeting and building a relationship as a chance to have a relationship with me, and I'm not interested. At all. I'm getting married this summer, and my half-sister was invited. She wanted an invite for her mom, and stepdad/dad by extension. I said no. She told me she's my stepmom and should be invited. I told her she's a stranger, not my stepmom, and not someone I would be comfortable having at my wedding. Half-sister is mad, and thinks I'm being petty and mean to someone who never had a choice in losing touch with me. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Your wedding, your rules. Also, how is she a stepmom to you if she's a stranger basically? That's a hilarious concept. She was married to my dad before he died and was in my life for a couple of years. So to them, that makes her still my stepmom. She was your stepmom for a short time and before we even hit elementary. That's a stranger. Not the a-hole. It's your wedding, you get to choose the guests invited. If you don't really know this woman and are uninterested in having a relationship with her, then you are well within your rights to not invite her. Do understand though that if you do not invite her, your half-sister is likely to back out of having any relationship with you. I'm fine with that if it happens. If she's going to be petty about putting her mother first, without recognizing that the woman did nothing to have a relationship with you for years, or facilitating you have a relationship with your sisters, then it's probably for the best if she walks. Not the a-hole. I hate seeing stories where a surprise sibling is suddenly being pushed to have a relationship with people they don't even know. It's your wedding. It's your choice, and they just have to suck it up. Not today, Hull. It's your wedding, your guest list. You're under no obligation to pretend a closeness that doesn't exist. You've done nothing wrong. You didn't create this messy situation you happened to get born into. Your half-sister might not have been an a-hole to ask once, but she's a jerk for sulking after being told no.